All right, hey guys. So today we're going to talk about branding and how important it is for your business, and then kind of brainstorm different ways for branding and just kind of talk a little bit more about it. So for first off, branding, if you guys aren't fully aware, is pretty much like your persona and like kind of what um, it's more than just a logo. So this is the one definition that I found for brand. It's name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature that identifies one seller's goods or service as distinct from those of other sellers. Which is what we talk about this a lot, of how different things that you can be doing. So different things you can be doing as a consultant to make yourself stand out from the crowd, because obviously there are a lot of posh consultants, and as even though we're not super saturated yet, you do want to build some sort of brand around yourself, or some sort of presence, so that people want to purchase from you versus another consultant. And this is where branding really comes into play. And if you look up anything on branding, for the most part, everybody's going to tell you, I hope everyone tells you, that branding is more than just a logo or more than a name or some cute mascot. It's definitely more about the message and kind of uh, how people, like what people think of you when they think of it, like what kind of brand identity that you have. It's going to help you create more, it's going to bring more awareness to you as a consultant and you as the brand. So sorry. So that's kind of what how branding comes into play. And so for the most part, a lot of us have been doing this with what we are slowly finding our brand and how we have our customers perceive us. So some of us, if you have your VIP group, depends on how you've named your VIP group or what you have in your email as your email name, and just kind of, if you have your own URL, or if you've customized your URL, which you should have, or if you have a domain name that directs to your Posh website, then that might be something that you've already put some thought into already. So if you haven't put thought into this, so this is just going to be kind of a brainstorm on how you can put some thought into branding, or different ways, different aspects of your business where you can put some more branding thought into. I'm not an expert on branding. This is something that I am personally still kind of learning and kind of dealing with myself. But your brand can be your personal business. It can be your team. It can be, they don't necessarily have to coincide. So if you are a team leader and you're kind of unsure how you can match the two, they don't necessarily have to be like the same exact thing. But I think for a lot of the times, your personal message, whatever message that you have, usually intersect. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned about branding, and that Kylene has talked about a lot, is that you need to know what your personal message is. What is it that you're trying to convey? Your business is not your mission statement. Your mission statement is not to sell product. Your mission statement is not to necessarily make money. Your mission statement, those are kind of like side effects of what your mission is you're going to sell products and you're going to make money off of that, right? But your mission is going to be something a little bit more, is broader and deeper. And this is something that no one can really like teach you, but that's why this is something you really have to like dig deep into, be more introspective about it, and really kind of think about what is important to you and what you want to do with Posh, or what it is that you want to do with life. It doesn't necessarily have to be Posh. There's one tip that we got at our leader retreat from the guest speaker that was there, and she said that your branding and your message and all that stuff doesn't necessarily have to be strictly about Posh. Your branding doesn't have to be very like completely Posh related. Like your team doesn't have to be called Posh something or have Posh in the name. You want to brand yourself, because people are not flocking to Posh, or the people that you're attracting, your customers, your team members, yeah, they like Posh, but you want to give them a reason to choose you, to choose your team, to choose you as a consultant. So you're going to brand yourself. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about your mission statement and what it is that you're trying to do. If you guys want to brainstorm, or if you guys want to add anything to this, you guys are welcome to unmute yourselves or use the chat box. But I'm just gonna kind of continue to blab for a minute so if you guys have anything to add, let me know. But so something that I was thinking about was that, so my mission statement, I feel like is very similar to my why and what it is that I want to do with Posh. And I think for a lot of people, they're kind of they're very similar, or they're the same thing. And I love the flexibility that Posh gives me, and I love being able to offer for people to take a minute to pamper themselves, because I was a mom that kind of totally forgot about myself. I was the last thing that I never, did anything for myself. And so when Posh came around, it was refreshing, and something that I realized that, I need to take care of myself so that I could better take care of others, right? So that's kind of the thing that I like to kind of talk about, and to kind of that's what's important to me, is that you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. And that's kind of, I don't know how I feel about my business, but everybody's different. So some people like the flexibility because they're able to travel a lot. They're able to take their kids on adventures, or they're able to do something, to have this flexibility and freedom that Posh offers. And obviously that's I haven't quite gotten a personal mission statement yet, so keep that in mind. But you really have to think about it. And so some books that were recommended to read, if you guys are interested in reading more about branding, You Inc. is one of them, and I just recently got that. So if you guys are interested in kind of doing like a book club with me, there is that one. You Inc. is a good one, and I was flipping through it just barely, and it's very easy to read. So you can grab it from the library and read through that, and hopefully that'll help you kind of brand yourself. Some other things that I kind of was thinking about with branding is that something that I realize that a lot of people worry about is that they worry about their logo, or they worry about their mascot, and that is so not the point of branding. It's not a cutesy logo. It's not the ability to find your logo in places, or a symbol or a mascot in places. That is cool and that's great, but that is not the point. If your logo were to change one day, that doesn't change your branding. Like, that doesn't change your business and what you stand for, because you want your mission statement to be so strong that it's by itself, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Do you guys have any questions? I'm trying to find don't remember where I put my other notebook that had the other book recommendations. But yeah, so anyways, so yeah, so branding, some different ways that you can incorporate branding into your personal business. So you can have your personal Posh website be that. So you could be like, something.po.sh, or you can get a domain URL and direct it to that. You can have a blog that's going to help you create some brand awareness and kind of help you convey your mission statement. Your blog doesn't necessarily have to be all Posh related. It's something that's going to help you show off your Posh life and kind of show you, it's more like a lifestyle blog is kind of what I'm thinking with the blog, and how you can utilize a blog. This is where Instagram also comes into play, and Facebook and any other social media is showing insight into your life and your behind the scenes. So like I said, if your mission statement is to be able to go on these amazing adventures, that's what a lot of your lifestyle, like your Instagram or your blog is going to be, is like, these are all the cool things that I can do. And Posh is how I'm able to do it. It's not, it's if I can do oh my gosh, I'm like so tongue-tied. If I can do this, with Posh, so can you kind of thing. That's kind of the way that you can throw it into your personal business. So you have, so your VIP group, you want to try to have it all encompassing just so it's easy for everyone to understand. So if you have a name that conveys your brand and that's what you want to stick with, then make sure that it is try to stay consistent throughout. For a team, if you guys are building a team, you don't necessarily have to worry about cutesy logos or anything like that, as long as you have some sort of statement, some mission statement. Because if you guys have ever been at any other company, mission statements are important. And some companies, if they're dysfunctional, maybe they have a mission statement, but nobody knows what that they don't even know that there is a mission statement, or it's not a big priority for the employees to know about. And maybe that's why they're a little bit more dysfunctional. But with your mission statement, you want to make sure, whether it's your personal or your team, it's something that you're sharing often, so people understand what it is. Like with Posh, you deserve to be pampered. That encompasses a lot of what Posh stands for and a lot of the branding that comes out from it. So you think you deserve to be pampered, and you're just like, yes, that's Posh, right? Yeah. I see a lot of people that worry about their brand and their names and stuff, and they're usually more focused on the name and like the logo and all that stuff, but they don't think about what it is, like what they want from it. They don't know what their message is. So that is something that no one can really teach you or tell you. It's something that, as much as we can talk about it, it's something you really just need to think about and talk to other people about and brainstorm and come up with what's important to you and what it is that, like, how Posh helps you do that. Yeah, I think that's really all I had to say, because I really just wanted this to be a brainstorm. If you guys want to come jump on and talk about what you guys have going on, you're welcome to do that, or we can go off topic as well and turn the recording off. So sometimes you get caught. That's the thing, is that you really, I see this a lot, and I find myself doing it a lot too, is I get caught up in all the other things. Like, will this logo look good in all forms? Like, how am I going to incorporate a logo, et cetera, et cetera? But that is really not the point. You really just need to go back to your business plan and what's important to you to grow your business, for you to grow your business. But yeah, so I was never really like a business, like, or a self-help book reader. And I am so, like, I need to read more, because I feel like I need to find myself more.
Branding is really hard for me. I watched Kylene did a branding boot camp thing one time, and I watched her thing, and I looked at like the homework that she was giving her team and stuff, and I was like, I can't answer half of this. I have no idea. I felt like I was back at school or something, and I missed like the entire year and was trying to catch up in the last week. I had no idea. And so, like, I have kind of a loose brand. It's my Posh adventure, and, like, I don't know, I guess part of what's hard on it for me is that when I started, it was really just for fun. And at this point now, it's like, I don't want to say competitive, because it's not really the right word unless it's like competing with myself. But like, I want to achieve things. I want to. I want the ranks, and it's like winning, And
Yeah.
I have that in me, like, or the straight A student in me who wants to get the A, and so like I don't know how to turn that into a brand. Like, none of it makes sense to me. It's like all Greek. And Charlie, the business plan, trying to read the instructions for the business plan again, it was like reading Greek. I don't even know. I can't. I don't even know where to start with that. Like,
Maybe we should go through it together, Carissa. Because I missed that event. Like I saw it was happening, but I like totally need to go through it because I feel like that's kind of the thing is that if
Yes,
you
please, Charlie. Yes, please.
Ooh.
I love
Yeah,
notes.
I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. I feel like that's the thing is that when you're starting to do stuff like this and like you realize that for those who are like me, who still feel like I don't really know what I want to do with my life kind of thing.
Good, Charlie. That's what I need.
Yeah, you're like,
Sorry.
notes.
Well,
No.
and she said she dumbs everything down, so I need it dumbed down.
I think we really need to do it, like really go through just like the boot camp, but like really just sit there and kind of like bounce ideas off of each other. Because that's what helped me a lot when we were doing this at the leader retreat. This is how it helped like a lot. So everyone went around the room and talked about what their personal message was, and for the most part most people didn't know, or they had a loose idea of what it was that they was important to them, but by the time everyone got around and kind of like discussed, I think almost every single person there had kind of figured it out and was kind of like they were like their wheels were like they were inspired, and it was like that's what I feel like is as much as you can kind of think about it, you really just kind of have to like talk it through and really just like, you know.
We should have a one-on-one, Simone.
Yeah, we should and cry about it. Okay. I'll be like, I don't know. Yeah. I just branding. I
I
cry
feel like
about.
mine's really vague. Like I do have a logo, and I really love it. Katie,
I
my
don't think
cousin,
yours
made it
is.
for
I
me.
I think I think you have a good skeleton, and you just kind of have to like,
Yeah.
because I don't know. I think you have a good starting point. But you can always start over. That's the thing. It's not like
Well, I don't know. I like my map.
that's true.
My map is pretty.
It is
And
really pretty.
and for me and for how and why I started, I feel like it's really appropriate because to me this whole thing it was an adventure. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Someday it's been over a year now. Some days I still don't know what I got myself into. But you know what? I'm having a lot of fun. And there's like the um one of my friends got me the plate from Origami Owl that says find joy in your journey, and it's to me it's really appropriate. And so it's like that's kind of my thing. I want it to be an adventure, and if you're in my VIP group or if you're on my team or company, I want it to be an adventure for you too. Adventures can be fun, but they can also be scary, and I think that's okay. And so like that's that's where I'm at. Hey
I
Charlie,
think,
I'll give you my email.
oh, I guess email would work too, huh?
It's probably the easier way.
Thank you. Okay, no, I think that everything that you, when you first picked, you know, your Posh adventure and whatever, you know, I think that it still kind of stayed with you, and I feel like maybe you just need to like
It
really just
has.
think it through a little bit more.
Like I don't see that ever changing for me
I
just
don't think
because
so. Just like look at you talking about it.
yeah,
It's like
it's a passionate thing for me. Like that's what got me doing it. And I was so excited when I got my samples. I was kind of like, "Oh, okay, I like free samples." And then I tried them and I was just so excited by this stuff, and I told my mom I was like, "This is an adventure I need to do." And I used those words, and so it was just like, and that's stuck with me. And originally, like the first time I was trying to put my group together, I was like, Carissa's Posh Life. And then I was like, that sounds really dumb. I don't even like that. And, but now I'm stuck with that as my URL for my Facebook group. But, so, but I was just like, I kept thinking about it and I was like, I like adventure better. It's more true to what it is for me. And then recently, I did change one thing with my VIP group. My VIP group is no longer Carissa's Posh Adventure. It's Your Posh Adventure with Carissa because I wanted them to be on the adventure too.
because
It's not just
everybody
about
has their own journey and their own adventure with Posh.
exactly, whether as a customer or a
Yep.
consultant. And
Yeah.
so that's my thing. And I can't. I really don't ever see that changing.
See, I think that you have. I think you have a pretty good sense of your branding. Maybe you're just not as. It's not as fleshed out.
Yeah. I think I get too caught up in like the rules of what branding is and what a business plan is, and I don't understand it. That's never been my strong suit. That type of understanding, I just don't get it. And so I get too caught up in trying to go with like whatever the rules say, and then I get stuck and confused, and then I get mad and I quit trying to figure it out. And I just go with the flow, which is not necessarily always the best way to do it, but that's how it ends up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, right? Like, for me too, I'm the same way. Like, if I get too overwhelmed, I just stop, and I just like, it just can't. But like, it's ridiculous because to get stuck on something that's not exactly the important part. Like, I did not start my Instagram account forever because I was too stuck on what my name would be. So I'm like, that is like the stupidest reason not to, like, I don't know. And so that took me 50 years to get over. And even then, I'm just like, I just don't know. I don't know. But I feel like it's really one of those things that you really have to, like, I don't know. You have to really think about what it is and that's important to you. And it's not even just Posh. It's just period.
Right. Well, see, I think that's where it gets confusing too, is like it's supposed to be for this, but it doesn't necessarily have to relate to that. And like that's like trying to do the quadratic equation in algebra 2, and they're talking about all of a sudden there's a 2 that was not in the equation before, and nobody can tell you why they put a 2. Somehow that 2 relates, even though it doesn't. So it's kind of like that.
Oh,
That is
Charlie, you're totally fine. I was like, anything you're willing to send us is
exactly.
except I can even
It
say
is. It is better than the nothing that we have right now.
So what's funny is that someone was saying that they're like, oh, I feel better about not having like anything, knowing that like you've gotten so far with not having anything either. And I was like, thank you, I guess. But like, it's so true though. Like, as long as does that make sense though? Like, I did not have a team name or a good sense of branding, period. And I still don't at all. Like, no one knows why my team name is the way it is, like, not really well, because I haven't been doing a very good job of it. And but everything that I say to, like, everything like that I convey, or I hope that my customers see and that my team members see is my mission, like my why, but I haven't ever gotten it quite to the branding part yet. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of people probably have that, where there's something that drives them, or something that they talk about, like the thing that hits home to them the most. They just haven't realized that maybe that is their brand, and that they need to kind of refine it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for anybody that, I don't know.
I guess then, for me at least, I feel like I do have that. I feel like people do know why my team is what it is, or...
I think so. I think you've done great.
And I mean, I'll be the first to admit that it never really occurred to me that that was important, that other people got it, until the last few months or so when Kylene started talking about branding. I was like, I don't know why it matters if anybody else knows. I know, that's the important part, right? But I feel like it comes across, and I talk about it frequently in my group and just in general when people ask me about Posh or how or why I got started.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else to talk about with branding, we can turn this recording off. Yeah, but there are some books and some articles. If you just if you look it up and kind of think about it some more, start with your mission statement and go from there. Try not to worry so much about what your logo will be or whatever. But yeah, I've talked to people about it. I find that helps a lot, is talking to people and kind of getting it into words, because you can't tell people what your brand is if you can't even put it into words to tell somebody what your ideas are. Like, I'll tell my husband stuff, and he's like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I know, but this is my idea. Let me try it again. And it helps to talk about it. Anyway, all right. So this is branding. There was not a lot of content I had for this. But yeah, so for anyone that's watching the recording later, if you guys have questions, be sure to reach out because we all have questions and we can help each other out. Thanks, guys.